eventually I made the choice, I'm going to leave. And I remember my boyfriend at the time came in his mom's car and I drove to Suffern, New York, and I told her, pick me or him, which was her husband. And I left. I left home.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you went to live with your boyfriend.
No, I went to live with a lady from my church and I made her be
Okay.
my guardian. I told her, you're going to be my guardian. And, I made my mom give her rights. Like I was ridiculous as a child. I made my mom give up her parental rights and the lady at my church became my guardian.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Flip That Switch. I'm your host, Brandon, aka B to the Sis Naive, and we back with another episode. If you didn't get a chance to go back and watch the previous episode, please go back and watch it. As a matter of fact, before you watch this one, go back and watch that one. But today we're going to be diving into another episode, and the person I'm going to be interviewing today is my homie. I met this girl about in 2017. I was living in St. Louis working at TIAA, and man, we just became cool. It was a group of us that were working together, and we was like the life of the party. Like work was just fun because we were there, and she's like the female version of me, lit, turned, hyped. That's what made it so much fun because we literally would be hyped. We'd be cracking jokes about people. And it was just, I don't know, she just made it a fun environment. And so obviously we always kept in touch even after that because I ended up moving back to Texas in 2018 and she stayed at TIA. And now she's doing her thing. She just got a brand new job. And so out here getting it, grinding. And so without further ado, I want to introduce my homie, Jodi. What's up, yo?
Hi guys. Hi Brandon.
What's going on? What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Pretty good. Just still soaking in the new job. It's my second week, so I'm super excited and learning a lot, but I'm just thankful it's all God. Like literally it's all God.
It's nice, nice. So what? Tell the people what it is that you do.
So my background is HR, and I have been trying to get further in HR for the past 2 years. So my previous job, I was an HR leave specialist, and I was trying to be an HR generalist, which pretty much covers all aspects of HR, because I want
Okay,
to grow and develop. And I was
right.
applying to a lot of jobs. I literally got turned down every job after the third interview, getting discouraged, just like God, is this my calling? I have a passion for people. And lo and behold, God was just kind of, setting me up. So the job that I applied for, I wasn't really going to apply for it. It's a manager job. And I was a little nervous, but I just took a leap of faith and I just applied. I had my first interview, second, third, and I'm a manager of employee services for a really amazing company. It's God. Like literally, I'm like, I'm applying for a generalist job, and God's like, no, I want you to be a manager. So
Wow,
it's
man,
God. I'm
don't
just
put God in a box. Don't put him in a box. Don't limit
ever,
what he can
ever,
do.
ever.
That's
So
crazy.
it's pretty
And,
fun.
and yeah, yeah. And so after you moved from St. Louis, where did you end up moving to?
To Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, so that actually is funny because when COVID happened, I was actually applying to be a flight attendant with Delta Airlines.
Okay.
And I had all the interviews and they were getting ready to fly me out to Atlanta. Like I had my hotel ready and everything because, I was ready to leave TIAA. I was like, I'm good. And then COVID happened. And again, another disappointment. I was like, is this a joke? Like, what is happening? And of course, I went back to TIAA. And even through then, God was just working with me. And then they offered the entire company, it's called VSP, Voluntary Separation Program. Of course, I
Mhm.
took it. Margaret took it too. Margaret was our boss, and the majority of our department took it. But this is how God is so amazing. I was the only one they gave it to out of the entire department, including it was like six people and Margaret, and I got it.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the whole department?
Yeah, yeah, I remember because, they were talking about it and, pretty much I sold everything, literally. Never been to Charlotte in my entire life. I mean, my mentor at the time, he was the VP of finance. He told me about Charlotte and I'm just like, I'll try it. So I literally was like, okay, I'll go. Sold everything. One of my sisters took me, literally my plants. and books closed, and we just came to Charlotte. I got my place online through COVID, and that's when I got my first HR break 4 years ago. So
Okay. Wow.
crazy, crazy, but I did it.
Hey man, God is in the mix.
He
And
made,
now look at you getting you settling in and you doing your thing. And
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we've come a long way from being being here at office. being
Listen,
in
yeah.
the
That's a whole nother story. TIAA, woo, woo, yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about your upbringing. Now, what nationality are you?
I am half Jamaican and half Trinidadian.
Okay, okay. And so your mom is Jamaican or your dad?
So my dad, well, okay, so just disclaimer, I don't know my father, but he is Jamaican, and my
Okay,
mom is from, so it's Trinidad and Tobago, it's two islands, but my mom,
okay,
she's from Tobago, so I went back and forth living there as a baby, a kid being in Trinidad, both of the islands, but yeah.
okay, okay. Cool, cool. That's what's up. And so, talk to me a little bit about your upbringing. Like when you were coming up, obviously being on the island, what was that like for you? Like, was it, obviously growing up single parent household? Did you have any siblings?
My brother, yeah, he's younger than me.
Okay.
He's 2 years younger than me. Yeah, so it was just me and my brother, and of course, lots of my cousins. So it could get okay. So I'm going to give you the short version of it, to be honest, and just being very transparent because that's who I am.
Okay.
My mom, single mom. My aunts offered to raise us, so we were literally babies. Went there. I lived with my cousins, and just between my grandma, my grandfather, my aunts and uncles, just living there, and it was interesting. It was a lot,
Yeah.
just being away from my mom because, we want our mom, but, we were there and just being raised in different culture. Now, as I'm an adult, I appreciate it. But back then, I was just like, I want my mom. But it was nice, like we lived really close to the beach, my grandma. Like I
Okay.
remember climbing coconut trees, knocking the coconut down, and like literally going to the beach and catching crabs and cooking them. Like it was, I appreciate it now, but I mean, it was just really chill. The Caribbean is very relaxed. Just, Sundays is beach. You work hard, play hard. My uncle was in the Coast Guard, riding horses. It was cool, but it had its bad moments at times because again, we miss our mom. So
Mm,
yeah,
yeah. No, I understand. Had you ever, before you came over to the States, had you ever been to the States?
no.
Had you
Well,
ever heard about the US?
I was a babe. Well, yeah, I was born in Brooklyn, BK,
Okay.
BK Brooklyn.
BK all day, you feel me?
Right. So, born there, but we were kids. So when we went to live with my aunt and uncles and grandma, we were like literal children. Like I came to America like fully when I was 11, and my brother was 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so when you came to America, was it kind of like a culture shock for you?
Yes. Even as a little kid, it was just weird because back home, it was just real chill. So coming to America, it's like everyone was really into material stuff.
Hmm.
Like had to have the fancy clothes, the name brands. Like I saw my mom making an extra effort to make us look really nice. And we're like, I didn't get it until when I went to school. I got picked on a lot. I got teased because I was wearing pony sneakers.
Because
You
you
know,
used to do what?
I was wearing pony. It was a pony sneaker. That's not a brand name.
Oh,
It had ponies on it. So I mean, I didn't know, so it's like just learning that, the focus was more on like your outward appearance versus, who you are as a person. So I found myself getting into that and I actually was borrowing my friends' clothes. Like remember the Columbia jacket back then, the jeans
hmm.
sport, so I was so into that because I wanted to be with the cool kids and be popular. And my brother did the same thing. We're borrowing Jordans. So it was sad. Now I can think about it because it was different from how it was in Trinidad and Tobago when I came to America. It was just so materialistic and, who, if you're with the cool kids, So yeah, it was definitely a culture shock.
No, I definitely understand. What what made your mom come to the States? Did she ever talk to you about why she wanted to uproot you guys from obviously being in the island to the States? What was the reasoning for that?
So a lot of Caribbean people, I think African people, America was looked as the place of opportunity. Like when you
Hmm.
go to America, you've made it. So for my mom, she just wanted to have a better life for us, for her parents. So pretty much, she got her citizenship and she worked at AT&T, and T, and she literally was just trying to save money because she would send money back home to my
Okay.
uncles. Like we had barrels of clothes and food. So it's just her to make a name for herself and also to just, you know, help the family. So I mean, most people within that culture, that's the main focus. Come to America, the world of dreams, to do better, and just bring all your family members over there. So that was her main focus.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. Just to provide a better life for our
Oh yeah.
kids.
Oh yeah. She was big on that.
Because I think a lot of people get a misconception that like the U.S. is just like the American dream. You go over here, the cream of the crop and stuff like that. But what's funny is that when I go over to different islands, different countries, I'm like, shoot, I want to live how y'all living. I ain't got all these responsibilities. I'm chilling. I can wake up, be on the water, sipping my coffee. I ain't got to do much. It's just amazing how like the rap that like third world countries and islands get, just because it's not the U.S. But every time I go over there, I'm like, man, I could for sure see myself living over here. Like I
Yeah.
ain't got no, I ain't, I'm not gonna have any. What's the word I'm looking for? Like I'm not gonna have. To me, I wouldn't have any issues. I'll just be over here just vibing out and chilling.
You won't.
And it's very
United
cult.
States.
It's very family oriented and cultural.
Yes. Yes. Very much. Like usually you'll see aunts and uncles. You'll see cousins all living like in a small house, but you're having fun.
Yeah.
Like it was four of my cousins, me and my brother, the cat, the dog, my aunts, my uncles, and we were so happy, just living a good life. And it's just the focus shifted, of course, because you're trying to do better, be in the rat race. But now as I travel and I go there and I'm like, you idiot, you had it so good. Like I would move to another country tonight if I could.
Really. So you
Yes.
would move back home?
Not back home. For me, I probably want to do Africa, to be honest. Like
Okay.
I would like Ghana and stuff, but retire. That's my retirement goals. Yeah,
I was just
definitely.
gonna say, is that a long term goal for you to kind of move back overseas?
Yeah, yes, yes. Me and my husband,
Wow.
he's the same. Yeah, yeah. I don't
Nice.
want to be in America. Mm-mm. I mean, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, but no.
I understand. That's what's up. So how old were you when you started working?
Oh gosh, let's see. So okay, let's backtrack a little bit. So of course,
Okay.
living in America, went through a lot of issues as a teenager, just trying to find life, you feeling yourself or whatever. And
Yeah.
I remember let's see here, trying to think, because I started working when I was 16. I actually left home at 16.
Okay. Wait, like moved out?
Yeah, I don't, yeah, you never knew that. I left home at 16. Like I literally, okay, I'll say this. I went to four different high schools, literally, like ninth grade, 10th grade, 11, 12. Like I said, I
Okay.
went through that rough patch, being rebellious with my mom, running away from home, me and my brother constantly. And eventually I made the choice, I'm going to leave. And I remember my boyfriend at the time came and drove his mom's car, and I drove to Suffern, New York, and I told her, pick me or him, which was her husband. And I left. I left home.
Wow. So you
Yeah.
went to so you went to live with your boyfriend.
No, I went to live with a lady from my church, and I made her be
Okay.
my guardian. I told her, "You're going to be my guardian," and I made my mom give up her rights. Like I was ridiculous as a child. I made my mom give up her parental rights, and my the lady at my church became my guardian because she had to be so I could be registered for school.
So your mom, when you told her you wanted her to sign over her parental rights, she didn't put up a fight about it?
I had already left home. I was very, Brandon, you've met me. I'm very determined.
No, I know. But it's like she wasn't like, no, I'm not signing over my parental rights. You're my child. Like she just
It was a
was
lot going
cool.
on at the time. It was a lot. It was a lot going on within the family dynamics. My mom, my brother, she had got married, and it was just, yeah, it was just a lot. So I made the choice to leave, and then sadly, when I left, my brother went to a group home.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it was pretty rough. So yeah.
Now, after you left, did you have a relationship with your mom after that, or it was
Um, Eventually I did. Eventually. Um, yeah, because I did actually come, I eventually came back home and then I went to Bible college. It was just so much happening. I feel like the people in my life at the time, because I was very involved in church, they saw the potential in me, but they knew I had a really rough childhood, me and my brother. So it's like they almost became the parents for us. So it's like I'm making choices for myself. So it's like I left home, then I came back, and then one day they raised money for me to go to Bible college. And I told my mom, I'm going to Missouri. I didn't even know what Missouri was. And she was just, she had her own stuff going on, and I'm very determined, she was like,
Absolutely.
whatever. So like people bought my plane ticket, they shipped my clothes. It was just a lot. I didn't know anybody in St. Louis but my pastor's daughter, and that's how I ended up in St. Louis. I was 19.
Wow.
No, you
Wow.
never knew this, yeah, because
Yeah,
yeah,
I know none of this. But I appreciate you telling me, but I ain't know none of this.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So fast forward, you moved to St. Louis,
Hmm.
and now what? What's happening now at this point? You've gotten a
So,
job. Who are you living with, and stuff like that?
so to answer your question again, I started working when I was 16. So
Okay.
sorry, yeah, but moved to St. Louis. I'm in a dorm. And again, that's another culture shock because it was more Caucasian people in St. Louis,
Okay.
Missouri.
Okay.
I just yeah, it was not a lot of black people, just to be transparent. So I mean, I'm nervous, I'm scared, but I'm going for Christian education. My pastor's daughter's there, which she's white but very sweet. And I got a job at a hotel, La Quinta Inns and Suites, as a night auditor.
Ooh,
I
okay.
know. And I
Okay.
just
Okay.
mind you, I don't know how to drive. I'm just going to school, Bible college, and then the shuttle bus would pick me up and take me to work and then bring me back home. Like now I can see every step God literally had my back everywhere. Like who literally and I worked there for like 3 years and they would take me to work and pick me up every day.
Wow.
Every day.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I didn't know how to drive. I didn't have a car.
When did you start? How old were you when you learned how to drive?
24. I kind of taught myself, and then friends would let me borrow their car, and I would literally drive in the neighborhood, like around the police parking lot, until one day my friend's like, "This is silly." I paid her $20 every week to teach me how to drive.
Wow.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's
You didn't know
awesome,
it was
man.
gonna be so deep, Brandon. You didn't know.
I'm sitting back like, wow, I ain't know none of this. You
No.
know,
Yeah.
but you're right. I think when God is in the mix and he's going to send you the resources that you need,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what he did. I
Hmm.
mean, just knowing everything that you went through and the fact that you was like, you know what, sign over these parental rights. I'm leaving. I'm out of here with no plan really of action of how you're going to like navigate life or get through life. And it was all being set up and worked out for you to get to this point.
That's been my whole life, even moving here. Like I said, I mean, I just took a leap of faith. So it's like now I can think, I'm like, my whole life has been like a faith, faith, faith. Like, who just picks up and leaves, sells their whole furniture, and just moves to the state? Like, I've never visited Charlotte in my life. I just like, okay, let's land here, and I found a job and figured it out, and yeah. So even from childhood, that's just literally been my life. Going to 40 different high schools, living with people in the church, just figuring it out. I'm like, wow.
But you overcame it. You
Yes,
persevered. You
yes.
overcame it. You were determined. You were driven. And
Hmm.
really, to be honest with you, like perseverance and drive is going to carry you far in life.
Yeah,
Even when you're in the trenches, if you
yeah,
can overcome those obstacles, man, you will go far in life.
yeah, yeah.
So do you still got your cat?
No, oh, you remember Smokey?
Yeah, I remember Smokey. Yeah, I remember Smokey.
I can't believe you remember. Wow, no, he passed away. Yes, that's actually what pushed me to move to Charlotte. So I've been here 4 years. He passed away 2018 or 19, because COVID happened around 2019, right?
COVID happened in 2020.
2020. So
So
Smokey,
2019, it was starting to, people didn't know what it was, but it was
yeah.
starting to affect people. And then 2020 is when people are like, okay, this is a thing.
So Smokey passed before COVID-19 because I remember that's when I moved downtown St. Louis. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. I remember you moved because I was living in Creve Coeur, remember? And then I
Yeah.
was just like, I need to
He
be
meant
close
so
to
much
work.
to you.
I had it for 23 years. That was
Yeah.
my baby. That was my baby, like literally. So yeah, yeah.
Wow. How
hmm
did that affect you?
It messed me up because no family really, no boyfriend, but that was my heart. Like that was my boy. I had him from 8 weeks until he was however old, and it messed me up, Brandon. If you don't have a fur baby, you don't realize how much you love that animal. It was
Mm.
it was rough. It was rough, but that was what kind of just was like, I'm good. I gotta get out of here. Like I actually left his ashes in St. Louis when I moved.
Wow.
Got cremated, and I said just rest. So that was my push to kind of leave and come to Charlotte.
Mm.
So yeah,
Wow. Yeah,
yeah.
I know how much he meant to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. You always talked about him at work,
Sure
and
did.
I know that was your homie, man. That was your guy. You know.
Oh yeah. So
Oh man.
yeah, but it's okay. I have plants now. I'm a plant mommy. I just love
Oh yeah,
plants.
I see your little leaf situation growing in the background. How
He's
long you been at the plant?
so I just recently moved into this apartment. I've been in here, God, I think 6 months, and these
Okay.
plants are all new because the plants from St. Louis that I drove to, when I lived in my first apartment was great, but then last year was a rough year. All 13 of my plants died
Mm.
because it was a very not a very nice apartment, just in a very rough neighborhood, which I didn't know. And like I
Yeah.
said, it was horrible. But now that I'm here, I can really see it was God. Like that year brought me back to God. Like I am not leaving God ever again. I mean,
Mm.
I had no one to rely on but God. I lost my job. I was it was so humble. I was on food stamps. I was
Mm-hmm.
going to food pantries. It was humbling. My friends were paying my rent. Like I almost got evicted, literally. So that year humbled me. Like it literally brought me to Christ. Like when I went to church, I was broken. So
Yeah.
now I can say, so with that, I feel plants feel your energy. All my plants died, and it was not a very well lit apartment, but it was a dark time. I call that my exodus. It was,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So these are all new, literally all these plants. Like these leaves just started growing in, literally. It was like one leaf. Now you see it.
So you mentioned that it was a very, very dark time for you. Why was it important for you to come back to Christ in those moments? Because, you know, a lot of times, obviously, you're as you're a Christian, sometimes you get off track and you get back on track, you get off track, and God brings you back on track. But sometimes there are those humbling moments where God will be like, hey, listen, this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you,
hmm
but I got to get your attention somehow, right?
Oh, he
So
did.
why is it important in those moments where you're really in the trenches and you have nobody to lean on? Why is it important to have that relationship and get back on track with God?
Well, for me, because I grew up as a church baby, right? And they say backslidden. I was just done. I had church hurt from years ago, and I was done. I was like deuces. So I was doing a lot, living my life, getting drunk, doing whatever.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, I wasn't getting fulfillment. It was still that weird, it was that void, and I was filling it with all that stuff. So, I mean, because I'm very stubborn, I feel like God had to let me get laid off. Like I got laid off with the big Wells Fargo layoff. And, getting on food stamps and, having people pay my rent, it literally, for me, I feel like God had to do that to be like, I'm the person you need, I'm your source. So it's like, it was important for me because I had no one else. My mom, she's far away. My friends are all gone. I didn't know anybody in Charlotte. So it's like this girl at my church was like, I mean, at my work was like, come to church. I'm like, whatever. And until I like got laid off, that's when I went to church. I called her. I said, hey, what's the address to your church? And
Hmm.
when I went there, like I mean, broken, Brandon, broken. I
Yeah.
had like broken. Like the minute that my pastor now was preaching, I just started crying. And he called me up to the front of the church and had a word for me. And I was like, and I never met this man. And he literally spoke things like God was dealing with me. So for me, it was almost like God was like, "Oh, you gonna come back to me,"
Yeah,
and I did.
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
One way or the other, one way or the other, he gonna bring us back because
yeah.
he cares about us.
He loves
You
me.
know, he
Yes,
loves us. He cares about us, and if he didn't care about us, he just let us go off and do whatever we want to do, and
yeah,
along the way bump our heads. But one of the prayers I always tell myself is how do I flee from the enemy and really just gravitate to the spirit,
yeah, yeah.
and I always want to do that because I never want to put God in position. I never want to put God in a position where He just has to humble me, you know,
Yeah.
because His humbling is is different.
He had all these things, and hard and fair is hard. And it wasn't until finally when his son died, the last plague, he's like, "Okay, you guys can go." So yeah, God knows how to bring you back. But I mean, at the end of the day, now I can say it's love, and He loves me, and I'm not leaving Him again. Mm-mm. I'm locked in like tight.
No, I hear you. Okay, so fast forward to now. Well, first of all, do you plan to ever get another cat?
Maybe. I mean, I do, but because I have so many plants, and a lot of them are poisonous to animals, I don't know. Because I mean, now
Oh,
my plants are my babies. Like I love my babies. I talk to them. I
like
rub their,
have full conversations with them?
huh?
Like have conversations with them?
Well, they don't answer, but I answer for them.
Yeah.
My friend's like, what is wrong with you? It's like I rub their leaves. I'm like, how was your day? And it works. I know it sounds crazy, but it really works. Like, because so for me, it's like now this is my baby. So it's like I don't want the cat to eat the plant, and the cat, I can't go through that again. So right now, no.
So when you wait, hold up, time out. So when you ask the plants how was their day, you actually answer for them. So what do you say? What do you kind of give me a conversation between you and the plant? Let me see what
No,
they're looking.
you're not going to do this to me right now on national whatever. I
Bro.
just, how was your day? And, I'll be like, my day was good. Yeah, that's all you're getting, man. That's it. That's it. And so right now I have seven of them. So I do that with each of them. And
Oh,
we,
so you interact with all seven of them?
yeah, they're male and females, and they have names. Yes.
Give me some of their names.
No, no, we're done. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. No, no.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Just the one behind you. What's that plant's name?
this one, actually, I think I forgot because this one was torture. So this plant's called a fiddle leaf, and if you
Okay.
know anything about fiddle leaves, they're very hard to grow. Like I have to literally shake the plant. Like I had to Google it in ChatGPT. You have to like shake it because it reminds the plant of their habitat when they were out in the earth. So I literally have to shake it. I rub the leaves, but I forgot his name because he's a man.
Okay. Okay.
Like I try to be gentle how I talk because I feel the plant, he can hear me. So I forgot his name, but he's definitely a man because
That
y'all,
is
y'all,
hilarious.
y'all irritating. But
That is hilarious. Oh, Chat GBT. Yeah. On a side note,
that's my
yeah,
man. That's my man. He doesn't know it yet.
Chat GBT.
We talk every day. I'm always ChatGPT.
Me too. And I'll be asking the craziest stuff. I like one time I was around some of my friends and I was telling them about ChatGPT because they had never heard of it. I'm like, dude, ChatGPT will give you an answer to everything. I was like, do this. I was like, type in how to find a sugar mama. And
Brandon.
literally they typed it in. First of all, ChatGPT broke down what a sugar mama is,
Jesus.
why you would want one, what the places you need to go to get one.
What kind of?
It broke it. When I tell you it broke it all the way down, I'm like, yo, this is golden.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, I never did that. Now, have you ever asked it to roast you?
No.
Yo, ChatGPT read me for filth. I said, you roast me. And I guess based on whatever I ask it, oh, it read me. I said, yo, I was like, go deeper. And he's like, you sure? and it just kept on going deeper and roasting me. I was like, what kind of, like, it literally was just playing me.
Wow.
So do it one day, say roast me. And it's, yeah,
And they
ChatGPT.
just start ripping off jokes.
Like literally, because remember, I'm asking a lot of questions. Like I'll ask HR questions or like just anything. And it was, I think one time it says, you say you're into HR, but you're constantly asking me all these questions to help you sound intelligent. I, I said, okay, then go deeper. And then it went deeper, and I was like, okay, it actually started hurting my feelings. I was like, yo, I'm gonna stop now. Yo, you really getting ridiculous. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Oh yeah. He read
That
me
is,
for filth.
yeah, it's different, man. It's different. Of course, I have the free version because I'm not paying for it, but that
Uh,
free version, it comes in clutch and handy.
I paid her
Yeah.
$20 and it worked
Oh,
because
you
I'm on.
are?
Yeah, I use it all the time. I pay that $20, just like my Spotify and my DoorDash.
Oh, that is hilarious. That is funny. That is hilarious. So, what does the next 5 years look like for you? What's your 5 year plan? What do you see yourself accomplishing?
That actually that's so funny you said it because I'm actually thinking about it. And again, I'm like I said, I'm very open. I'm 45. I know I look good for 45, but I'm 45. So
Right,
the
right.
next, thank you. The next 5 years is straight up. It's 50.
What
That's
you say? What?
45 plus five. That's 50 right there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. I'm
But
40.
but that's still. I wish I was 40 again. But it scares me. I mean, it excites me and it scares me. But my next 5 year plan. Of course, I'm a manager now. As far as career wise, I would love to be a VP, and eventually, I want to have my own consulting business,
Okay.
right? Because I'm thinking when I go retire abroad, I can still do consulting while I'm in Africa. Definitely, I want my man, my man, my man. I want to be married. So, it's like, I definitely want to have that, have the kids. But that's pretty much that. And just, spend time with moms, help her, be there. But it's very focused now. That's why right now I don't have time to waste. So everything I do right now, I'm very intentional. Like, I mean, I date, but if I know you're trying to just play, get out my face. I don't got time for that. Like, I tell men what I want and what the intentions are. I'm not going to do that. I'm not here to just have fun. Let's date for purpose. So my next five
Absolutely.
years is definitely, my career, be with my man, travel. He can have his own kids because I don't want kids. I'm not.
Oh,
Mm-mm,
you don't want kids? Okay, I
mm-mm.
was just about to ask that.
Well, I mean, I'm 45. I mean, with my age, I am at a higher risk for like a lot of crazy stuff to happen. Because I mean, it sounds horrible, but my age should consider pregnancy geriatric,
Hmm.
especially a black woman. It's a high risk for deformities and stuff. And I can't handle it. I know I don't want to. So he can have his kids. Like I'm the abnormal not having kids at 45. I'm sure the man I'll be with, he'll have at least two, three, or four, or five, and I'm okay with that.
I was gonna say, is there a limit on how many kids he has? Like, if he came in and was like, "Hey, I got 6 kids," is that a deal breaker or?
You should. Okay, so okay, let me refer. Okay, if you're in my age bracket, like 40 and up, 50, that's cool. But if you're like 20 and 30, no, no, no. But six kids, I mean, that doesn't bother me. I mean, you've lived life. Now, if your baby's like 6 months, what are you doing, bro?
Right. That means you fresh. That means you fresh.
We'll work that out. We'll work that out with her. Now, if the kids are like 7, 8 and up, I don't care. I'll be Auntie Jodi or stepmommy. I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me. But I'm not doing a 6-month-old or 1 year. No, no. Like, go focus
Yeah.
on that.
No, I no for sure, for sure. So, you have any prospects out there that anybody you dating currently?
Okay, that's funny you said that because my brother literally just texted me what's going on. So I've been so focused on my career, Brandon, honestly, I haven't even had time to date. And it's like when I do date, at least my experience, the men in Charlotte, they're different because it's a lot of educated and financially stable men. I will honestly say that compared to St. Louis, it's nice out here. But with
Okay.
that being said, I feel like the men here, they feel more of the advantage, like they're the prize.
They're the catch.
Right. But it's like, so I don't know. It's different because it's like they just They do whatever they want because they know that you, we want what they have, right? Educated, the house, the car. So it's just, it's different. So, I mean, I'm like, that doesn't impress me. I have that too. I don't need you
Right.
to buy me a meal. I don't need you to pump my gas. I mean, if you want to, but it's harder for me because I'm coming with stuff and they just want to play. And I'm like, I'm not doing that with you. So
Hmm.
I'm just trusting God and, praying and he'll just, he'll be there. But I do put myself out there when I can. But if I smell nonsense, mm-mm.
You have a high BS radar.
Well, because I've been through so much, and it's like I said, at my age, I'm not trying to play with you. Like honestly, if I do date someone, I don't intend to be dating for like 2, 3 years, and then you're going to propose to me. What are we doing? I'll be 47. No, no. You should
Right.
know at least with 6 months to a year, at least.
I agree. I feel like it doesn't take long for you to know. I feel like a lot of times people just drag it on because there's a motive or some type of
Mm,
hidden agenda behind it. But I've always told people it doesn't take long when you know. It shouldn't. I mean, you just know. I don't think it should be 4, 5, and 6 years for you to figure out if this is the one you want to be with or not. You should just,
yeah.
as you spend time with each other, getting to know the person. I mean, you know.
Well, I mean, I
So,
look at you and you in Destiny because I remember when you moved from St. Louis with that whole incident that happened with the rooftop party. With
little day party
you
at
were,
Ballpark
you,
Village.
yeah, you
Yeah,
was like, I feel like I'm done. You were done, and then
yeah,
it's like seeing you again because I was watching you guys on social media. I was like, yo, I think that's the one. I mean, you guys were traveling, and then I remember Kovic was taking care of you. Like I was zoomed in, and it was just like I said, yo, I really think she's the one. So then when you proposed and it went viral, I was like, oh my God. And then you guys just got so big. And like, I've never met your wife, but I love her. And I'd be like, what's up, sis? Like, I feel like I know her and I've never met her in my life, but I
yeah.
love her because she
No,
accepted you for you because you goofy, but I mean, you're yourself though. I mean, like I'm
no,
literally the
for
female
sure.
version of, and she loved you for you and she just appreciated you. And I was just like, yeah, she a real one. So yeah, so that when I see you guys, there's hope. It gives me hope.
No, for sure.
That's
Appreciate
all,
that.
though.
I appreciate that. So let me get you out of here on this question. I always ask this question to my guests to end the episode. But let's say you're sitting across the room from 25-year-old Jodi, right? And she's asking you for advice. Just any piece of advice. She's young. She's starting out in the corporate world, but she's just trying to navigate life and really just make sure that she makes the right decisions. And she
Mm.
comes to you and is like, hey, I just need some advice on how to navigate, whether it's dating, whether it's career, whatever the case may be. What type of advice would you give her?
Let me see. Follow your heart because I
Okay.
feel literally everyone, despite what's going on, you deep down you do know. Follow your heart. Say no sometimes. Like I was a pleaser, a yes person. It's okay to say no. Say no. You don't always have to follow the crowd or be like no. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. And just follow your heart, literally. Because if I had did that, I really feel it would have avoided all the nonsense that I went through.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Follow your heart.
Yeah,
Don't be a
literally.
pleaser.
No, because where are those people now?
Mm. Ooh, that's a word. That's a word. That's a word. That's a word.
They're really not here. Like they really are not here. So yeah,
The people you were trying to please are not here.
we're not even friends anymore. We don't even talk.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
How many close friends would you say you have?
oh, I mean, okay. So it's funny. So I have my close friends in St. Louis. My little
Yep.
people, and then I have my
Yep.
DMV girls,
Okay.
and I have my New York people, and now my Charlotte. But each group is literally small. Like I could say it 5 or 6.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the core. Like we uplift each other, we love at each other. if you got it, I got it. It's
Mm,
like, to me, especially when I was going through the hard time with the eviction and not having food or money, the people I thought was going to have my back, they disappeared. Like my hairstylist offered for me to live with her and her man, and my closest friends that I thought had me didn't even offer. That messed me up, Brandon. And I said, okay, now I know who are my true friends.
yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure.
Hmm.
You start reevaluating those relationships and you figure out, okay, these are the people that I want to come into the next phase of my life with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
So,
big on that. I'm
oh
big
yeah,
on that.
oh yeah, oh yeah. You have to categorize your friends. Like I have my fun friends, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, nah. I need the people when I'm going through. I could call you to just start praying, not gossiping, praying.
Hmm.
Or if I need some, girl, here's 1,000. Pay me back whenever. I don't care. Yeah.
Mm, mm.
So
Well,
yeah.
since we talk about that, then why don't you loan me $5 to the next payday?
Nah, nah, nah. That's you. That's you, big baller. That's you. That's you,
Oh
bro. Like, bro, come on.
man. Well, this was good. I definitely appreciate you coming on and sharing your journey and just talking about you just getting it off. You know, sometimes you need an outlet to be able to just kind of talk your story and get your journey out there. So definitely appreciate you coming
No.
on and joining the episode with me. Definitely much appreciated.
Well, thank you for having me. This was nice. It was really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So make sure you guys are following us on IG where we post reels from the episodes. If you can't watch us, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcast and flip that switch. So whether you are watching us or listening to us, just make sure either way you're tapping into us. And if you got a story you want to get out there, I'd love to have you on the show. If you think that you just hit me in the comments, we would love to sit down and have a conversation and get you as a guest on the show. But other than that, Jodi, appreciate you again. Thanks for stopping by, and we're gonna see y'all for the next episode. And we out. Peace.
Bye.